Hey everyone, just quickly popped out in my lunch to record the introduction for tonight's stories, or today's stories. It's Thursday at the moment, it's an absolutely glorious day, so hopefully this will continue on into the bank holiday. We'll be able to enjoy it a bit sensibly. But I've got a double bill for you tonight to round off Monster Week. The first story is from Japan. It's well, not both the stories are from Japan, but both of them are a lot of fun. This first one really does show why I love cats so much. So we'll jump straight in, and I hope you enjoy it. Long ago, in Japan, was a boy who would never really amount to a farmer. For as much as he tried, as much as his father gave him to do, as much work as he gave him, he was always distracted. He would always end up drawing in the dirt, scraps of paper. He only ever drew one thing: cats. That's all he would draw. Now, the priest came to the boy's father and said, "Let me have him. Let me work with him. I'll see what I can do. Maybe he's not cut out to be a farmer." Now, he was a studious young man, and he learned very well, but whenever he was distracted, wherever his mind wandered from studies, he would draw cats on blank pieces of paper in the margins of the books. When he was left one day to tidy the hall, when the priest came back, it was indeed tidy, but all over the once blank white screens were pictures of cats. Big cats, small cats, cats playing, cats sleeping, but just cats. So the priest decided that, in the hope that the boy would learn more discipline, more focus, perhaps the monks in the temple could help him. And so, with no great ill will, he helped the boy pack away his few belongings and send him to the temple. And he sent him with a strange warning. Before the lad set out, he said, "Beware open spaces. Sleep only in small spaces." Well, the boy smiled and nodded with little understanding of what he really meant, but he set out one morning to the temple at the bottom of the mountain. It was nearly dusk when he arrived. It was getting quite late. As he walked through the village to the temple, it seemed very still, very quiet. No people seemed to be around. When he reached the door of the temple, there were a few candles burning in the windows and lights. He knocked upon the door. There was no answer. He knocked again. After waiting, still no answer. So he tried the handle. The door to the temple opened. He went in. Didn't seem to be anyone about. Well, we decided to wait till the monks returned. Surely they couldn't be long, so he sat down to meditate. His eyes opened and he looked around. It seemed quite dusty, as if there hadn't been anyone there for quite some time. His eyes fell upon great white screens. He couldn't resist. Took out his pen and ink, and he began to draw. He covered the screens with cats. Cats of all sizes, cats doing all sorts of things, playing, resting, fighting, but cats nonetheless. When he had finished, he noticed it had become very dark outside. It must be late. And so, perhaps the monks would be back in the morning. He decided to roll out his mat and settle down for the night. Just as he was about to lay his head down, he remembered what the priest had said. beware open places, sleep only in small spaces. Looking around, he found a cabinet in the corner which slid open. It was big enough for him to get in, and so rolled out his mat in there, crawled inside, slid the door behind me, left it open just a crack, and he settled down for the night. Now he was awoken by the most terrible noises. It sounded as if well, he didn't know what it sounded at. There was yowling and screeching and such terrible howls. He pressed his eye up against the crack, and there was something moving out in the hall. It was making such a racket and moving such fast. He dared not open the cabinet any wider in case it called attention to him. Instead, he cowered and waited for the noise to subside. Eventually it did, just before sunrise. When he had waited long enough and it seemed light enough that whatever had made the noise was gone or had stopped or had slunk off into the night, he slid open the cabinet and, looking round, crawled out. The floor of the hall was covered with blood, and in the middle of the hall, to the boy's horror, dead, was a huge, great rat goblin, at least the size of a cow, if not bigger. But what could have killed it? And he noticed that all around, in the blood, were paw prints, cat paw prints. And he looked upon the screens where he'd drawn in. The cats there, their claws covered with blood, around their mouths, stained red. And the only conclusion he could come to, that the rat goblin had come in during the night. His cats, the cats that he had drawn, come down from the screens and saved him. Well, he opened the temple door, he went into the village. The villagers came out, quite surprised that he was still alive, and he learned from them that the great rat goblin had, quite some time ago, driven the monks from the temple, and they had lived in fear of this horrible creature until he had come, drawn his cats, and saved them all. Now the monks did return to the temple. The boy did not join them. He did not become a farmer, nor a priest, nor a monk. Instead, he became a great artist. He specialised in drawing. Well, of course he specialised in drawing cats. So there we go. Don't fight your artistic urges, especially if it comes to drawing cats. You never know when it might come in useful against a giant rat demon or something. Okay, so like I said, it's a double bill. We're rounding it off now. Again, this story is a lot of fun. I think it's from Africa. I'm not even sure what it's called, but I think I found it online somewhere. It goes to show that sometimes not even a monster can resist the beat. So again, I hope you enjoy this one. I hope you have a great weekend. Enjoy celebrating VE Day. Maybe if I've thought ahead, I could have done a bit of a theme about that, but never mind. Just stay safe, be sensible, even though the weather's good. We'll get through this. I know they're on about making things a bit easier soon, which to be honest worries me a little bit. Never mind, I'm sure if we all demonstrate common sense, we'll get there. So like I said, enjoy the weekend, enjoy the story, stay safe everyone. Long ago, a small boy lived with his mother and his father and his grandmother in a hut near the jungle. By and by he was quite happy, but his grandmother seemed to have a real issue with him. She was always picking on him and calling him lazy and ordering him around, never letting him get any rest. And eventually he went to his parents, and they just sighed and shrugged and said, she's old. Just for an easy life, do as she asks. Bear with her. Well, one morning, grandmother went to the boy's room, shook him out of bed. Boy, lazy boy, go into the jungle and pick me some fruit. Well, he sighed and remembered what his parents had said, and he took a basket, went out into the jungle to pick fruit for his grandmother. He eventually found that the best fruit grew near some caves. So, he's picking the fruit into the basket, and all of a sudden, the ground started to shake. And out of one of the caves came a great monster. Well, quick as you like, the boy climbed up a tree. The monster picked up his fruit basket, threw it to one side, looked up at the boy. Well, the boy took out his drums, clipped to his belt, and began drumming away to signal for help. Well, the monster looked. To the boy's amazement, as he was drumming, the monster began to dance. Danced himself back into the cave. As soon as he was out of sight, the boy climbed down from the tree, picked up his empty fruit basket, and ran home. He barely got in the door. The grandmother grabbed him by his ear. Where's my fruit? Oh! Well, he explained what had happened with the monster and how he'd ran up the tree. Oh, she just clipped him across there. You liar! Go to your parents about this. She dragged him before his parents. This boy is a liar. I sent him for fruit, and he comes back empty-handed with some ridiculous tale of a monster in the jungle. Well, the parents sighed and smiled, and they decided that the next day they would all go to pick some fruit. So, off they went the very next day into the jungle. They found where the best fruit was growing by the caves. And while the boy and his parents were picking the fruit into the baskets, the grandmother straight into her mouth. Well, as they were picking, the ground began to shake, the air began to tremble, and out from one of the caves came a monster, the monster. The young boy, quick as you like, straight up a tree once again, but his parents and certainly his grandmother weren't quick enough. Took the monster a bit more to get the grandmother down. She was old and dry-skinned and bony. The monster looked up the tree at the boy. Well, again the boy took out his drums and drumming away for help. And again the monster started to dance to the rhythm of the drum. Now, I don't know about you, but if you've eaten something very quickly and you start doing something like dancing, what happens? You start to feel a bit ill, don't you? Especially if you've eaten too quickly. So, as the boy was drumming away and the monster was dancing, up came the boy's mother. He began drumming again, harder. And the monster threw up his father, and at that the boy stopped drumming. Well, his parents looked up at him. Oh, the monster still wasn't feeling very well. His parents looked up at the boy and said, "Come on, son, keep drumming. Let's get your grandmother back." Well, he began drumming again, and the monster started to dance again. Oh, Oh, she tasted even worse coming up than she did going down. She stuck in his throat. The monster threw up the grandmother, and then it slunk back into its cave. Oh, I hadn't enjoyed that at all. Well, boy came back down from his tree. They picked up their fruit baskets, the ones they hadn't touched this time, and made their way back home. The grandmother feeling quite sheepish at her behaviour. The young boy, a hero, his parents, so proud of him. And, well, life from that day carried on pretty much as normal. One significant change. The boy's grandmother was a lot quieter, a lot meeker than she ever had been. She didn't boss him about quite as much. She certainly never accused him of being a liar.